What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including CM Punk returning to Raw. Did Vince McMahon know about CM Punk? What's really happening with Drew McIntyre? Concerning news relating to WWE star, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new website, Wrestlelamia.com. Now let's hit the intro and get straight into our first story. Now first story looks at CM Punk expected at Raw. Well, hell has certainly frozen over. Our top story today takes a look at when fans can expect CM Punk to next appear on WWE programming. Punk shocked the world last night by returning to WWE at the end of Survivor Series. Punk's return has truly changed the landscape of the wrestling industry, as everyone can't stop talking about the WWE comeback of the former champion. We have some news relating to when Punk will be back on TV, and it looks like Punk is ready to get straight back into the fold, as according to PW Insider, a source has informed them that Punk is expected to be on Raw tomorrow night. This is exciting news, and it promotes the question of who exactly Punk will feud with. The footage of Seth Rollins losing his mind at Punk's return has already gone viral, and Raw has a stacked roster featuring names such as Drew McIntyre, Jey Uso, Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn and Finn Balor for WWE to pair Punk with for his first feud back in the company. Who would you guys like to see Punk feud with? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, a huge Royal Rumble match leaked. Now it's still up for debate as to whether or not reigning world champion Seth Rollins is working the fans. As we mentioned, Rollins was furious following CM Punk's return, so much so that he had to be physically pulled back by Michael Cole and Corey Graves. According to WWE Insider Kermit on Reddit, WWE talent were informed ahead of time that Punk was returning to the company, and Rollins was subsequently working everyone. Interestingly, Kermit's scoop also revealed that Rollins vs Punk is indeed planned for the future, and that the match is currently set to take place at the Royal Rumble as opposed to WrestleMania 40 in April. Whilst fans may question if rushing into the match is a right move, WWE have 9 calendar weeks to build to the match, which is a significant amount of time, and come the Royal Rumble, the match could be one of the most anticipated matches in recent memory. Next up, did Vince McMahon have a say in CM Punk's return? One of the craziest things about CM Punk being back in WWE is the fact that he's now working under Triple H. It's no secret that Punk and the game weren't exactly best friends during Punk's first WWE run, yet based on the game's comments during the post-show press conference, as well as a picture shared of the duo on social media, it's all water under the bridge. Whilst the game may have officially made up with Punk, it's unknown how Vince McMahon has reacted to Punk re-signing, as it said that the new deal was kept top secret and virtually nobody outside of Triple H and Nick Khan knew about Punk returning. Dave Meltzer would comment on this on the Wrestling Observer Radio last night, saying he signed a multi-year deal. The deal came about 10 years ago. It was a secret from everyone. Paul Levesque, Triple H, said that TKO people found out by watching the TV, which I thought was ridiculous until I asked around and heard the exact same thing. It appeared a few months ago that Vince McMahon had yet to forgive Punk. When Punk visited Raw in April, he was said to have positive and encouraging interactions with the likes of Triple H and The Miz, yet was ultimately McMahon who made the call that Punk wasn't welcome as a visitor. Next up, what's really going on with Drew McIntyre? Outside of CM Punk and Randy Orton, one of the main talking points following last night is Drew McIntyre. Following Survivor Series, numerous reports indicated that McIntyre stormed to the back and proceeded to leave the arena. Due to these reports, it was instantly assumed that this was linked to Punk returning, as there seemed like no concrete reason for McIntyre to do this outside of being disgruntled regarding Punk's comeback. With that being said, thanks to footage from a fan in attendance in Chicago last night, it can be clearly seen that McIntyre stormed to the back before Punk made his return, and it's also clear that McIntyre is being directed by a WWE cameraman. This likely implies that McIntyre is also working a storyline, and the reports of him storming out of the arena may be false or at least somewhat exaggerated. Whilst this does seem to cast doubt on McIntyre being unhappy, a new report surfaced yesterday relating to McIntyre's WWE status, and believe it or not, despite his heel turn and push into the main event scene, McIntyre still hasn't re-signed with WWE. We're told that currently the two sides haven't entered into deep discussions about a new deal. WWE's stance has been that there is a lot of time to still negotiate. We have heard of late that McIntyre has told those close to him that he's more willing to let his current deal lapse if necessary and take a break for his family, as they recently suffered the loss of his wife's sister. We're also told that McIntyre has long stated to those he's friends with that he'd like the chance to spend some extended time back in Scotland, as it's been many years since he had the chance to have more than a quick visit with his family there, as he lives full-time in the United States. The report then states that McIntyre could put his family first. We're told that McIntyre is more than willing to let family come first over a new contract if there's been a choice of one or the other, but with 5 months or so to go before the end of his current deal, there's still time for the two sides to work something out, and there's been no signs of a negative issues between WWE management and McIntyre. As always, we'll keep you posted on any developments related to this rather interesting story. Next up, WWE doesn't want anyone to leave. Speaking of talent potentially departing WWE, Dave Meltzer made a newsworthy revelation on the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter. According to Meltzer, WWE doesn't want talent leaving the company, and numerous talents will be offered big money to remain with WWE. There's a lot of movement in WWE right now as far as they don't want anyone leaving. There's a lot of people who are being offered very big money that is besides just CM Punk, but other people who are being offered very big money, much more than they're making to stay. Next up, a surprising name backstage at Survivor Series. CM Punk wasn't the only shocking name backstage last night, as it was quietly reported that Stephanie McMahon was backstage at Survivor Series. Stephanie resigned from WWE a number of months ago, and her appearance backstage marks the only second time this year that Stephanie has made an appearance. PW Insider notes, Stephanie McMahon Levesque is at the Survivor Series. PWInsider.com has confirmed. I believe that this is the first time she's been at a WWE event since WrestleMania 39 and only the second time since she's resigned from the company. In relation to if the infamous Vince McMahon was backstage, well, PW Insider reported that McMahon wasn't in attendance. For those wondering, Vince McMahon is not at the pay-per-view. I heard from an old friend that he saw McMahon in the Hamptons yesterday in Long Island, so it appears that's where he spent Thanksgiving. Stephanie's appearance backstage would have likely been well received by talent. It's common knowledge that Stephanie was well liked by virtually everyone, and it was widely reported that it was seen as a huge blow for WWE morale that Stephanie resigned from her executive position. Next up, a WWE legend comments on the infamous AEW blood spot. The wrestling world has been talking about the Hangman Adam Page vs Swerve Strickland Full Gear match all week, and most of the attention has been directed towards the spot in which Page drank Strickland's blood. The hardcore legend himself, Mick Foley, has since commented on the infamous spot, and surprisingly, Foley isn't a fan of the rather gruesome move. Taken to his podcast, Foley stated, "I wish I could say I've seen it. I heard it was really epic. I wish people wouldn't drink each other's blood in today's day and age. I mean, heels used to do that. I remember even Tracy Smothers in Japan would do the deal where, suck the blood out of the opponent's head and spit it into the air. Maybe that had a time and a place, but that time and place is over. Not a knock on a match, just looking out for everybody's safety, knowing that people are going to possibly emulate what they see on TV. That doesn't take away from the fact that these guys seem to have a great match and really enjoyed it. What do you guys make of the spot in question? Did AEW go too far? Let us know in the comments down below. And finally, concerning news regarding a WWE wrestler. Our final story today takes a look at some worrying news relating to our former WWE Women's Champion. WWE star Carmella recently gave birth, but unfortunately problems have arisen. Responding to a fan during an Instagram Q&A, Carmella revealed that she's dealing with a nerve damage in her foot since giving birth. "I have nerve damage in my foot from pushing this bubs out of me, so the entire side of my right foot is numb. It's difficult to move my toes. I can't really move my foot, so it's making it difficult to walk, which is a bit annoying, but the anesthesiologist, I thought it was originally from the epidural. I don't know what was wrong." But the anesthesiologist, said it can happen, and with pushing on your back, it really should hopefully resolve in a few weeks. I'm going to see a chiropractor next week, which will hopefully help. My acupuncturist has been working on it, so we'll see. Fingers crossed it's better soon. And we here at Wrestlelamia wish Carmella a speedy recovery. But there you have it, folks, all the wildest wrestling news and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.